question. What is my wife doing? There you go. See? And then if you just back all the way over there, then you're good. Makes such a little bit cry.
So what?
A little bit cry. Where the heck? Where are you, Nico? What the heck? Where are you? Are you in your room? Hola, from Costa Rica. ¿Cómo estás? Can you guys hear us? Nico's the first one, but I think Nico was in his room.
Wait, what?
Hey, Pura Vida, there you go.
Pura vida!
So, fun fact, we surfed in Costa Rica. We went to... Oh, wow.
Playa Grande?
Playa Grande. Do you know what that is, Harold? Playa Grande?
Need to get that.
Oh, God bless you, man. Okay. Okay. Hi, babe.
Hello.
What's going on? Nice. Well, thanks
You're so far
for
away.
joining us from Costa Rica. We don't have... Hey! Hi!
Hi!
We don't really have a format, so if you guys have any questions or comments or anything you want to know... Oh, hey, actually, you know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna have some fun. There we go. Let's do that. I have no idea what that is. I did something. Hey, Las Tortugas. Yeah, we stayed there with I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh,
But we stayed there.
guest appearance, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. How are
Hi,
you?
guys.
There we go. Let's get some volume up there. So,
Our phone is kind of far away, so it's hard for us to read this stuff.
the
Oh,
lovely
idea.
person that's joining us on our Instagram live is our realtor. So the home that we're sitting in right now, she sold us this beautiful home. So, hi, Ashley.
We love you,
Hi,
Ashley.
guys.
What do you
Hey,
do?
I have to say, I've never done Instagram Live. It's a new platform, I think, right?
Oh!
It's not new, but we've done it like once. But the thing
Okay.
is, a lot of people ask us questions, and we're really bad. Well, I'm really bad with social media, so instead of answering everybody like multiple times, we figured we could hop on a live and just answer people.
I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it because I usually do Zoom or Facebook Live.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I love that I can test this out with you guys and see how it works.
Where are you? You're not in your house.
I'm in my office for the first time in almost 90 days.
Oh, wow. Congrats. There
Yeah,
you
like-
go.
In my little office, like,
Oh my word, that's so cool.
I don't know, I can't like show you exactly, but it feels really good to come in and just, reconnect to my desk for a minute.
Yeah.
So are you going to be in trouble by doing this, or are you good?
No, we're considered an essential business. So no, the building itself asked us to come in with masks. But once we get in the office and that we're properly spaced, and you can see I'm the only one in here right now, except for my broker, and she and her husband are around the corner.
Nice.
And so yeah, it just kind of feels good to come and connect to my desk because I use it for kind of a quiet writing platform. So I write a lot of notes sitting here. I get distracted at home. At home, I'll fold laundry or
Oh, yeah. Sure.
look at the
Yeah.
waves
Oh,
or
definitely look at the waves because your house overlooks a really nice break. So we're all
it's
jealous.
been the best quarantine place. So it's important that you're in a place that you love, right?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. And we love our place because you put us here. So thank you.
If anybody out there needs looking to buy a house,
Oh,
Ashley is your lady.
this
Yes,
is so
yes. Please reach out to Ashley if you're in the Orange County, greater Los Angeles area. She can help you out. She knows the market.
Yeah, I just find it brings me so much joy to see you guys so happy and yeah. So
So I have a
awesome.
question because we're doing, well,
I'm gonna go.
I was going to say we were going to do marriage. So you have been happily married for 25 years, right?
23.
23. Okay.
We just celebrated 23. Yep.
So what advice can you give us um, for 23 years of marriage? Like, what have you learned? What are some things for some people who are new to marriage or maybe engaged or um, trying to navigate those waters?
There are like a couple key points. If I would have to name, like, let's just let's break it down to three key points. I say the first is trust, right? The second is patience, and the third is compassion and communication and just unconditional love. And the greatest of these, I think, is the unconditional love, because it's hard to cohabitate, right? Like, it's not easy. And I feel like every individual has their own, like, little habits or annoying ticks or something that, right, that maybe kind of bugs the other, especially after 23 years. But you know what? It's it's just all about communicating and coming together on agreeing with things and being patient with others' differences, you know,
Yeah.
not judging. And yeah, and also when we got married, let's see, how do I say this? When we got married, there was no question that it was any kind of trial basis. Like, marriage to me was a commitment, like a full life commitment. And so for that to take place, then all the other things had to come into play, trust and unconditional love and communication. Yeah. And when you have kids, I feel like it doesn't. And you guys are such an amazing example. It doesn't make things easier. It makes it different. It takes it to a whole different level, right?
Yeah.
Oh
'Cause,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you go without sleep, your schedules change, your routines change. Some get to surf more than others. So we have to find a balance so that some can swim and have those days, and
Sure.
some can surf and have those days. And
Sure.
then who gets up with the baby at what time, and how do we share that, and who helps clean the house and walk the dogs, and it's a whole routine. And I think you guys are a great example. I really do. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Well, I
You're
have a question. Is it, do you find it difficult to be selfless to your spouse? Because what we hear usually, when people reach out to us, they say it's hard for them to do things for or actually, it's not hard for them. Their significant other, their spouse, whomever, doesn't understand. That's what they always say. They say they don't understand and they get frustrated with them. And then we kind of see that there's pride and selfishness there. So for you going on 23 years, do you think there's selflessness and that's involved?
That's a tough one. And one that I feel I've been so lucky with, because I too know those who have been married and they've had partners that have been a bit selfish with their time and their goals, and they've forgotten about their partner's goals. So they've gone about their way, and then it's like, wait, the partner gets resentful and all of that.
Right.
So I think when you have shared interest, um, and when your life is aligned in a shared way, then I think it's not so difficult. Does that make sense? But I think if you have completely different interests and you have completely different focuses, it's very difficult, because somehow you got to come together for that balance. And when you're balanced, then it works out. It works out. But when you have completely different interests and focuses and goals and maybe a life plan or even hobbies, like, I feel like you have to really visit that and communicate on that and come together with which ones are going to be aligned and which ones are different, and the ones that are different to allow each other time for that. The ones that are aligned absolutely do that together. I don't know.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes
Sure.
perfect
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, because like this is kind of an example with my sister-in-law. She sadly is divorced, but remarried. But the first husband, he was a triathlete, and she wasn't.
We've heard this before, actually. We had a friend who, I'll sidebar and I'll let you continue. We have a friend who, the love of her life is a triathlete, and he is trying to qualify.
Oh, well, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it was
So,
kind of like the lifestyle of a triathlete is just really. It takes a lot of time to do 3 sports and be the best at their sports,
Right.
and so like you're barely spending time with your loved one.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. Same story. Same story. Now, if they did it together, I think they would share with coaches, share with their training time, maybe because they'd be both aligned in that interest somehow. Maybe they wouldn't have had kids because but when only one does it and one doesn't, one travels for their meet, and yeah,
That's so tough.
yeah, it's tough. Yeah. And you guys are such a great example of, when you go out for a serve, then you take care of the baby, you take turns with that. Then when it's time for you to go have your swim days, then Justin takes care of the baby while you swim those laps.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
Totally. It's fun.
We're
I mean,
having fun. Yeah.
I don't think we're the first person ever to do that. We certainly won't be the last person ever to do that. So.
Yeah. It's cool. And also, spiritual health and physical health, I feel like the both of those things are so important,
Yeah.
so you want, when both of you have that, it also makes a marriage easier.
Oh,
It doesn't make it perfect though. Marriage is work. It's always constant work.
yes.
Yeah. And
That's
no
how we
marriage is
grow
perfect.
though. That's how we grow, right?
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. I mean, and also if our lives were perfect and we didn't need any guidance or assistance, then what would become of our faith too, right? So we need that. We always need to work on ourselves.
Wow, that's
Ah.
good. I like that. No, that's actually
No, that's so
perfect.
true.
That's
perfect. Yeah, because if we, we have to call on our higher power to help us with our weaknesses, our shortcomings, and things like that. Yeah, our goals, our desires, and with this COVID thing, some of our lives have been put on hold or given a different route in our work life, and that's a tough one, man. So you just have to, there comes that trust again, and then you have to trust in each other and trust in the process. Yeah.
So true, Ashley.
That's good
So-
advice.
I know. The best. Perfect.
It's all good though. How do we know who's joined? Oh, I can see. So can you see everybody else's pictures
So
or no?
if you click, you can wave at everybody. Everybody say hi to Ashley. We're gonna wave. Then we're gonna wave. Then we're gonna wave. And then we're gonna wave. And then we're gonna wave. We're just gonna wave at everybody. Yeah, 'cause there's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
see.
people.
I see. Okay.
Yes, we're gonna
So
wave
I
at
don't know how
everybody.
many people can join like you. Like I don't know how many screens there can be. I'm not sure about that part, but
I think because
They're
on
all
Zoom
viewing.
you can bring
Yeah.
everybody's face up.
everyone's waving.
Yeah,
I
everybody's
know. I'm
waving.
trying to do it too. Wait. Let's see.
Does anybody have any questions for Ashley? I
Oh.
didn't think it was gonna be a Q&A, but we're really blessed to have Ashley on here. I mean,
I
I'm telling you guys,
know,
she's
me
like
too.
one of the more incredible people
I was
we've
just
ever
gonna
met.
kind of pop on behind the scenes, but oh well.
If you guys have a question, you should definitely ask her because she definitely has a wealth of knowledge. So you guys have
I kind of wish
any
there was a better filter on this thing, though. Gosh.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Do you have a question? I asked her a question already. You should ask her.
Show let's see the baby. Let's see Miss Princess. Is she sleeping?
Sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Our baby is sleeping right now.
She's right
Later.
there.
We have a baby. Our baby is cute, but almost as cute as this guy right here who joined, Jared. Jared has a really cute baby. Jared and Tati, they're from Maui. They have a really cute
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Jared.
We're just gonna wave at him.
This would be a great platform, guys, for you to talk to other parents who are just, having babies and stuff.
We thought about
Yeah.
that, and I think we're the worst example of babies and postpartum and pregnancy because people are gonna ask for advice, and when we tell them that we're sleeping and Leah pushed 3 times and Richie doesn't cry, like they're either not gonna believe us or they're gonna try it and they're gonna fail. Like we're very blessed. I mean, look at our baby. Like we're talking.
I know.
Amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
they feel the energy of the parents, so.
Oh yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They really feed off the parents.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So if you're stressed, it's like the baby gets even more stressed.
Yes. Yes.
So I try my best not to be stressed.
Yeah.
I have a question actually. I have a really good question.
Okay.
Do you have any relationships with friends that are one-sided? Because Scripture tells us to prune relationships. There are certain times where you can let things go. Do you have relationships like that seem one-sided? And if you do have one-sided relationships, like friendships, like where a girlfriend is too high maintenance, but for whatever reason you're friends with them, how have you gone about that?
Wow. It's so funny that you asked that, because I just had this discussion with my daughter, Claire.
Hey,
oh my gosh, we just had this discussion with a couple people this week, that's why.
Yeah, just like 2 days ago. And let me just see if I can put my words together here.
I'm gonna try to, keep talking. I'm gonna try to bring it closer because I can't really see the people commenting. Okay, go ahead, Ashley. Sorry.
Oh, I feel like one of my gifts is working or is relational driven.
Oh yeah.
And I've kind of known that since I was a little girl because I had relationships with all kinds of different people.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Or the people that were children of my parents. Do you see where I'm going with this? So I had relationships with different kids in the classroom that lived in different neighborhoods and that maybe were different ethnicity or that were different, I don't know. And so because of that, I absolutely have all kinds of friends that are of different colorful personalities and one-sidedness or have different views and it teaches me how to not have judgment and to love and care unconditionally and to befriend unconditionally. And it teaches me also how to communicate without voicing opinions if they're out of line or outspoken. Or does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's just for me. So now my daughter's a bit different. She's uncomfortable with that. So she has a certain friend group and that's her friend group. And then like other friend groups, she's kind of uncomfortable with that if they don't align with her same friend group. Does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I'm super cool with all kinds of people. Bring it on. All kinds of different people. Yeah. different people, personalities, ages, it doesn't matter.
That's kind of how I was raised too. You talk to everyone. There's no real age barrier. I feel like Justin and I, we talk to we
hang out with everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with maybe being well traveled. I don't know. That's one of the things for me. What about you, Justin? Why do you raise that as a question? Tell me what.
We get that question a lot, actually, and it's the reason why I wanted to go on a live and just address everybody first. I apologize. My dog's probably gonna bark my moment. Sorry. Good job, buddy. Good job. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
He's
Okay.
doing
Sorry.
his job.
It's a very popular question, or it's a very popular circumstance that we have, because we have friends who are in relationships where the relationship is one-sided and they feel frustrated, because it's expectation versus reality, essentially. So if you think that you're best friends with somebody and the other person thinks that you're a close acquaintance, then the person gets hurt. Um, so we give our take on it. We say, well, you can't control what the other person does, and there shouldn't be an expectation that you think that somebody's your best friend just because you're their best friend, or else you're gonna feel hurt. Um, that's the. It's not really advice, but it's what we live by, because we know that there's some people that we hold in high esteem, and then to them we're probably just um, colleagues or people that they've met, and that's fine. We're blessed with their friendship, but then there's other people that can get really hurt by that because they think that they're so close, and they think that um, their family and things of that nature, and then when they're not, it can be very hurtful. So it's extremely popular. I think that's the one thing we hear all the time. If we hear marriage and boyfriends and girlfriends, that's probably second to relationships and pruning, and how do I know if this is a good friend? How do I know if this is a bad friend? What do I do in a toxic relationship?
Yeah. So yeah, that's different than I was talking about friend groups in general. But when you're talking about marriage and or relationships, pre-marriage or whatever, then yeah, it goes back to aligning your values
Right.
and your
Yeah.
personalities and your
More often
interests.
than not, when you have a one-sided friendship, those friendships are kind of born out of circumstance. So Leah and I met swimming in college, and a lot of our teammates we were friends with. We were friends with the teammates because we all trained together. We trained 8 hours a day swimming. So you're naturally going to befriend them and get close to them. But did you have anything in common? Probably not. I mean, you probably didn't listen to the same music. You probably came from different backgrounds. You tolerate, you grow close with each other because you train. So as the years go by, you grow apart because you weren't really close to begin with. So we always call those friends of convenience. And we kind of have those friends, right? When we go surf, we go to a particular break and you say hi to somebody, but you don't really know their name, but you
Yeah.
say hi to them to be respectful and cordial. So those are friends out of circumstance. But then maybe that person thinks that, oh, Ashley and I are best friends. Like we party wave all the time, and she always says hi to me. And then you're like, I think her name is Samantha.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So like we feel bad, we totally understand it, and there isn't advice that we can give other people. It's more comfort than anything. It's more telling them, hey, God places people in your life for particular reasons during
Yeah.
seasons. I mean, we look at you, like we were gonna buy a home for my wife and my daughter, but we didn't think we'd be surfing with you after the fact. We knew that you surfed, and maybe we'd surf once or twice, but um, we take comfort in knowing that we get to surf with you, and then anytime we buy homes in the future, we can trust you. We didn't go in thinking that. And for people tuning in, we just met Ashley. Okay, like we did not know Ashley whatsoever. We met her on social media. She reached out to us. She said,
Yeah.
"Hey, I heard you're buying a home," and we said, "Yes, we need help." That's what happened. This wasn't somebody that we've known for years. This wasn't a connection from somebody who we were close to. This is literally a cold intro. If
But it
I'm
was a
correct.
referral,
Oh,
and that's
referral.
how
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
how I work, by referral relationship. So it was a referral by a friend of mine
Okay.
who followed your Broken Waves ministry social media because she um, has aligned interest with that, and felt close to you guys, even though you guys don't really know her, but she felt close to your message with that social media posting and everything. And so she referred me to you guys, and then yeah, that's the beauty of how referrals work. And I it and it all worked out. It all worked
Yeah,
out.
and
So
you're in
yeah.
the professional service where relationships are key. So, do you have any advice for people about relationships and maintaining healthy relationships, whether business or friendships or anything of that nature?
Ah, I've moved around a lot in my lifetime, but especially in my married life. I think the first thing is to stay in touch with people. You know, we get so like wrapped up in our own personal lives that I think we forget to. Social media's helped though in these last years, but I think we forget to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, how are you? You know, what's going on? How's your mom?" You know, like stay in touch, and I think that keeps those relationships. You know, that keeps fostering those relationships. And again, it's just just communicating. I don't know. I think
So people have to do their part in a relationship.
yeah, don't you agree? Even friendships.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
sure.
can't.
I mean, I absolutely agree. So there's other people that don't agree. They think that if you're in a relationship, and I'm kind of like this too. I don't think relationships and friendships I don't think they need maintenance, because I'm close to my guys at home in San Francisco. I could not talk to them for half a year, and then if they ask me for something, we're really close.
Yeah, but you grew up with them though.
Exactly.
You have roots.
They don't need maintenance. But the other ones that are not superficial but are newer, they require some type of maintenance of dropping in and saying, "Hey, how's it?" You know, talking story, all that stuff. So what we've seen recently, actually, with a couple people that we know, um, if they don't communicate with the other person, then the other person isn't receptive to them anymore, and they'll stop responding. So all of a sudden, the person comes back and say, "Hey, I haven't heard from you from a while in a while. What's up?" And the person says, "Hey, you know, you haven't talked to me." So I think in those relationships, there's that expectation, right? Where if you don't talk to somebody, then they feel slighted or they're hurt because you haven't maintained that relationship.
Yeah, for sure. I think newer relationships require a little bit more fostering, a little bit more attention. And those ones that you grew up with, you know, I've got friends like that too. Aren't they great? That you like went to high school with or something, that you could just touch base with. You haven't talked to them in 20 years, but you feel like not a day has passed. Oh my gosh, wait, everything must stop. Everything must stop.
She woke up.
She woke up.
Hi.
Hi,
Beautiful.
She's on the phone.
This is our daughter, Grace. We rarely put our daughter on social media, but she's awake, so you guys get to see her. So.
But she's beautiful, and you know what? It's been, oh my, what a gift to pop on. I thought I was just gonna pop on behind the scene, but I get to go show a buyer a house right now.
Nice.
We have a 3:15 appointment, so I need to head out. But
Okay.
but yeah, so if anyone you know wants to work
to buy a
with
house.
Everybody in this chat right now, and anybody that's going to view this moving forward, if you guys need help with properties in this area, Greater Orange County, Los Angeles area,
or just want to
this
chat
is your
about
person.
it, yeah,
This is your person. Absolutely. Reach out to Ashley. If you don't have her contact info, reach out to us and we'll forward it. She's incredible, you guys. Incredible.
you guys are the best.
Yes.
I love you guys. I have to sign off.
I love you, Ashley.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
We'll surf soon.
Go
See ya.
sell some homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, go sell some homes. See ya.
See ya.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
cool. What a treat to see your auntie.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, wow. Are you talking? You want to talk?
Are you going to say hi to Auntie Sophia, Uncle Keith, Auntie Tati? Oh, big smiles. Hi.
We can still answer questions, but I think our daughter is going to steal the show here because she's starting to talk. So, but if you have any other questions or comments, or anything on your mind,
see if there's any questions.
let us know.
Oh, that was so nice to see Ashley.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And for those of you just tuning in, we had our realtor come on and she answered some questions about marriage and relationships and her experience. How bad? You just going to talk? You just want to talk to everybody here?
Say hi, honey.
You can say hi if you want.
I'm gonna say some things.
What are your thoughts on relationships? What are your thoughts on having relationships with friends? I have no idea what she's saying.
Whoa, but we totally agree with you, my love. Very, very good insight. Okay, honey. You can look at the curio. Look at all the goodies back there.
So if there's no more questions or comments, I think we're good. Right?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
If anybody ever wants to go live with us again, just let us know.
You say bye.
Bye-bye. Sending everyone love and hugs, virtual hugs. Shaka, woo!
Can you do Shaka, my love? Can you say bye to
She's
everybody?
still learning the Shaka.
Can you say bye to Auntie, Uncle Jared and
Bye,
Auntie Tati?
bye, Uncle Jared. Bye, Auntie Tati. Say louder. Say louder. Can you say hi, cousin Riley?
Riley says bye. Why doesn't she just say bye? Why doesn't she just join the chat and say bye too?
Bye, Riley.
Can you say bye now? Bye, my love.
Oh, big girl.